tuned in to Cardinal Sin where I, Cardinal Sin, discuss important pop culture news, reviews, movies, genre fiction, comics, storytelling, and just about anything else with my fellow YouTubers. Get ready for informed conversation about what's going on, for as your humble host, I rely on my guests to provide the talking points, whether it's a panel or just me one-on-one with a friend. So get ready for Cardinal Sin and... All right, everybody, it's Cardinal Sin here, and I want to thank you for joining me on Cardinal Sin and this is episode number 7, where we will be welcoming Michael Pilmer to the mix. And Michael is a friend of mine, and he also is the archivist for DEVO, and he has worked for DEVO for a number of years. And ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Michael Pilmer.
Jiminy crickets, give me time to put my pants on.
It was a pretty close shave there.
Jeez, I clicked the button to join and boom, he's on it.
Yep.
Finger. He's a trigger finger.
We are starting on time. We had a little kind of a difference of time, maybe because of the change. I wasn't really aware of the time change until about an hour ago, so that's probably my bad, just as much as anybody else's. But
well, just to let you know, the little intro you played there didn't have any sound.
Oh, no?
Yeah.
That's too bad.
I wasn't sure what was going on there.
It does have sound, I assure you.
Cool. Well, good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you. I do want to acknowledge a few folks that we have in the chat. We have Alex James. Hello, my friend. Tim Nolan. And, of course, we have the Stream Elements bot, which is running.
Really?
And
I haven't seen my dear friend the bot in so long.
I know, right?
And Alex, nice to meet you. And Stream Elements, that's the bot you're talking about?
Yeah, it's supposed to be like the before you get to 1,000 subscribers and before you have 4,000 hours of watch time, like the tip jar where people can put stuff in the tip jar.
Yeah.
But I did everything that they said to do correctly, and
so Stream Elements
doesn't really show up.
Stream Elements is just kind of like your free imaginary friend that you get with your account or something?
Pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Tim Nolan's here. Tim Nolan, what's up?
Did you hear that?
What happened?
Nothing.
Okay. Well, who's going to start doing armpit farts, me or you?
I'm trying to get rid of what was the how about if I make it not full screen and then just click away from it. Okie doke. So I do want to start a little housekeeping. Tomorrow on this channel, on the Cardinal Sin channel, I will be interviewing, as part of the Masters of the Genre series, Greg Bear, who is a seminal science fiction and cyberpunk writer and has written, among other things, this new book, The Unfinished Land. And he's also won something like 2 Hugos and 5 Nebulas and just about every other award a writer can be nominated for, and has worked for, the government and the intelligence community, and he's a futurist, so he's kind of a big deal. It was really good news to hear that he was coming on the show. So that's tomorrow between 7 and 9 p.m. Central, and of course we will start on time.
Now,
And
did you just
with
say,
a
did you just say that you woke up with 2 Hugos and a Nebula? Is that
no,
what you said?
no,
'Cause
no.
that sounds
Greg
interesting.
Bear has won 2 Hugos and 5 Nebulas.
I'm just funning with you.
And well, you know me. I'm Mr. Naive, so can't
I
really
thought you were
tell.
Cardinal Sin this whole time, and you've been masquerading as Cardinal Sin. You're actually Mr. Naive.
I am Mr. Naive.
Wow, that's a second channel you should start.
I should. There he goes again. So, just to get one thing going here, you are a DEVO's archivist, among other things. Can you please explain to folks who might not, be familiar with what you do, exactly what it is, what you do?
I just help my favorite band however I can, and I've done that for years and years. In the 90s, I started helping them by printing shirts for them, doing some graphics here and there, but I didn't really start being paid for it for real until maybe 20 years ago. And then I started doing their websites. That led to doing their social media. That led to, archiving and working with them on tour, backstage, doing wardrobe and stage props and stuff like that. So I just try to help them in any way I can, and oftentimes they will give me the opportunity to help them in certain ways. So that's that, and I make money doing that somehow. I don't know.
And you also manage the website DevoObsesso.com?
That's right. That was one of the first little simple HTML sites I ever built, and it's still exactly that, a simple HTML website.
Right.
It will not change from that.
And one of the things that I wanted to share with folks, which I don't have to do with audio this time, is something that I found on that website, interestingly enough, today.
Probably something I haven't looked at in years.
I don't know. We'll take a look and see.
I don't think I left any dick pics on that site.
So that's what we're looking at this point.
Oh, that's at clubdevo.com?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, right. I thought you were talking
And actually, it's at Club Devo, and I see that Devo is first, as they should be. Then we have NoFX, Circle Jerks, and I realize that there's quote a shit ton of bands more to be announced. But I did want to call to your attention. Anti-Flag has been around for at least as long as NoFX. Circle Jerk should be before NoFX. If I may continue to rant, Youth Brigade, whether they're the West Coast or the East Coast version, has been around since before many of those bands, maybe all of those bands except for Devo. And I haven't heard of a lot of the other bands. So, like I said, it probably isn't, got anything to do with you at all.
No.
But I just thought I'd bring it up just to,
Trying to start some YouTube drama, aren't you?
I am, admittedly.
Can
you tell us about that event?
All I know is what you see on that flyer, basically. And
it's going to be in Vegas?
I may know even less than that. Yeah, it's going to be in Vegas. It's going to be at Punk Rock Bowling, which Devo has played before many years ago. I want to say it was...
Is Punk Rock Bowling a venue?
No, it's a festival.
Oh, okay.
But it's like, for instance, when we were there, I remember there being one main stage outside in a big lot, basically. And then around town, there were different clubs sponsoring bands.
So it's sort of like
a secondary stage, too. I don't know.
The Vans tour or South by Southwest, where it's just a huge citywide music festival.
I don't know if it's as big as South by Southwest, no, but it's
but in the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the same kind of idea. A main event with kind of other events spidering off of that.
Cool.
Yeah, so they did it, I want to say 2010 or 2011, something like that. They played it with the Damned and the Weirdos, and that was
Well,
great.
hey, you can't go wrong with bands like that.
Yeah, that was really nice.
That's very
So
cool.
I just, whoever's headlining and whoever is listed above anybody else doesn't really matter to me. As long as it happens, I just want it to happen.
And as long as DEVO is first.
Yeah, even if
the rest of the,
I don't care. I just want to go work a show.
there you go. It's been a while since YouTube. Thinking and chewing bubblegum at the same time. Since DEVO has played a show because of this coronavirus 19 pandemic that we've been suffering under.
Mm-hmm.
How long has it been?
Can you do that again? Your hands look really large.
I know, especially if I go.
Oh, look, mine do too.
It's the new 1080p camera that I have.
Whoa, look how big my hands are. Okay, what were you
know. How long has it been since DEVO's played a show?
Last time they played was this show right here on my wrist, Desert Days. I don't know if you can see it. I probably can't see it. Desert Days 2019. It was October 2019. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I've had that on my wrist ever since.
So over a year.
Yeah, it was October 2019 in the desert. And they had a bunch of stuff planned for 2020, but, of course, it wasn't to be. But if this 2021 show goes forward, I'm a very happy man.
I bet. And why shouldn't it? Because the vaccines are all on target for everyone to get their jabs by that time, even down as low as into the 30s and 20s. 30-year-olds and 20-year-olds is what I mean by that. Mm-hmm. So that'll be great. I hope I can make it to that, and if I do, I hope I'll have a backstage pass.
We'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
I'll see if I hope I'll have a backstage pass.
There you go. So starting somewhere at the beginning and ending up somewhere at the end, including your YouTube career and your recent goings on. Can you kind of give us an idea, including what you've done with the Dickies, how this whole gig started for you?
Started probably when I heard Kiss for the first time, and then that spawned me to discover other rock bands, and then that spawned me to discover other rock bands, other rock music, and along those in those early days when I was listening to all my favorite bands over and over again, I would always kind of just imagine what it would be like to be part of the machine that made those bands and those records and those live shows and all that stuff happen. Like I wanted to be a part of the process that made the album covers or the t-shirts or the costumes or the logos. I just wanted to be a part of it more than
you weren't satisfied with being a rock and roller. You wanted to be part of the machine of rock and roll.
Well, I mean, everybody fantasizes about being a rock star, a rock band, and I tried my hand at those things, and it was really fun. But really, the bigger picture was I just wanted to be a part of that music scene, that rock and roll thing that I discovered when I was a kid. I just wanted to be a part of it, whether it meant being in a band or doing the graphics or doing all those things at once. And then I just started kind of, at some point in my life, figured I would just make a living doing that if I could.
Right.
So, and it worked.
So that covers year one.
Yeah, well, now that covers that's the very generalized story of the whole thing. I just want to be part of rock and roll, and that's what I enjoy, and so that's what I want to do for play and for work and for relaxation. That's what I want to do. But early on, I decided that even when I was going to have those kind of crappy jobs as a teenager, early 20s, I wanted to have jobs that had to do with music, record stores, nightclubs.
Yep.
That kind of stuff. So I was pretty good with sticking to that plan. There's a few exceptions, but it's a lifelong goal. It's a lifestyle choice.
Yeah, you and I have shared in sort of that
Hmm.
that lifestyle choice. I've been the manager of 3 used record stores. As you know, I had my own fanzine. I was in between 2 and 3 dozen punk bands, uh, some of which were also uh, studio projects, so I guess they don't count. But um, I did not ever get to work for a band uh, other than the one that I was in hauling, my equipment.
Right.
So good on you, sir. Good on
Well,
you.
here we are.
Uh, Tell me, how did you get involved with one of my other favorite bands, the Dickies?
Uh, Kind of the same way. I just was a fan of theirs for my whole life, just about. I discovered them in the mid '80s. Finally got to see them live in '88 for the first time. Met them then, and then
I
over the
think that's
decades,
the tour I saw them on.
that was the Killer Clowns era tour. Yep.
No, that was 92, I think, right?
Okay, '92 was
Dogs
when
from
was
the Hair
that?
That Bit Us?
Probably that. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I would see them since '88. I've seen them, over the decades a few times. And then at the punk rock bowling that Devo played, I was finally introduced officially to Stan Lee of the Dickies via a friend of mine who knew him. And then we kind of became friends, and we met over the years at different shows. Stan Lee was dating somebody who was related to one of the Monkees, and so we got into some Monkey shows, and then I got him into some Devo shows, and that happened for a few years. And then finally uh, in New York City, it was three years ago maybe. I was at a Dickies show as usual, and it was a kind of what do I want to say? It was something we did all the time. We'd go to New York in October for a few years in a row, and Dickies would always be having a 3-night gig there right around Halloween. And so we did this three years in a row. The third year I did it, the band forgot or just decided not to bring any merch. And me and my friend Tim, who went with me, were so pissed. We could not buy a shirt. And they were playing 3 nights in a row. We're like, what are you doing? You need merch. So basically, I decided, and Tim helped convince them that I should be running their merch and their website and stuff, because they didn't really have anybody running their website actively. They never had a merch store. So I just stepped in to help them, and I make a little tiny bit off each shirt they sell or whatever, but I don't really get paid for building their website and maintaining it and running all their socials. But I like to
It's
do it
just
because they're my
a
favorite.
a huge fan honor.
Yeah, it's like they're my second favorite band. They're my first favorite, classic punk rock band, and yeah, I just want to be a part of it. Like I said, it's not really about the money, but I do need to try to work that into my schedule a little bit so that I can pay the bills. But it's not really about
Absolutely.
that. It's not really about the money.
So over the last year and a half, maybe, you have become a YouTube personality. You
I don't know about that.
stream every Thursday, which is a great day to stream. I attended until I started streaming opposite you, more or less,
Yeah, good choice
or
there.
maybe an hour staggered with you. It was less my choice than the show that I was sort of taking over,
Yeah.
or the time slot of the show I was taking over. But why don't you tell us about how that happened and all about that?
Well, YouTube for me, I've been a YouTube user and had an account for like since 2009, so more than 10 years, and I just used the site as somewhere to store all the videos I would shoot at concerts, like the Dickies, Devo, Anti-Scene, all these bands that I would go see. I would
And
be
by the
shooting.
way, if I may interrupt,
Yeah.
it's probably a pretty good bet that if people see footage of Devo online on YouTube, you probably shot it, right?
If it's shows within the last, since 2004, yeah,
Yeah.
pretty
Okay.
much. Um, so anyway, so I had all these digital cameras when they first came out, and I needed somewhere to store all this video footage. So YouTube was my place to go, and then it would create a little link for me, and then I could share that link on show reports or websites or whatever I wanted to do, and that was great. And then in I don't know, a year and a half ago or so, I got a notice from YouTube that I was able to be monetized, and I didn't really know what that meant. So I just kind of left it alone for a while. And then for some reason, I started watching YouTube more often. I was trying to investigate live streaming just to see what it was all about. And then I got caught up in people's stories online and all these channels. And then I figured, okay, well, I'll just try it myself. I'll just try to stream and see what happens. And so I did a couple of test streams on Facebook. And then I finally figured out how to get everything set up on YouTube and started doing it. And my friends showed up, and then I started meeting new people. And then I got, monetized and got my first check for like $100. And I thought that was great. So it just seemed like a good way to spend time, especially after the pandemic started. It really made sense to.
Do you remember by any chance who the first person was that sent you a super chat that enabled you to receive? Oh, was it? Oh,
I was walking in downtown Raleigh, and yeah, I couldn't believe. Well, actually, yeah, that you were the first person I didn't know to send me one. There was a person that was an early mod of mine, and as a test one day, I was like, hey, does anybody know if this super chat thing works? And as a test, he sent me $1 this one day. And I was like, oh my God, it works. That's really funny. And then nothing ever happened after that for a while. And then I guess I was walking around downtown and you sent me $5. And I was like, wow, that's amazing.
I believe I sent you $10.
5, 10. Well,
not that I'm counting.
That $5 back then is probably worth 10 now.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, it was great.
So now you have these live streams on Thursdays. And we've met quite a few interesting individuals. You had the devotional, which you started in the year 2000, as a con for a confab, if you will, for Devo fans, and generally, I guess a member of Devo shows up, but generally it's Gerald Casali, right?
Well, he has been the most frequent visitor, yeah. But also David Kendrick's been there probably as many times as Jerry, and Bob 2 went once. Bob 1 has been at least 2 times. Jim Mothersbaugh has been at least twice, and General Boy was there at least 2 times.
That's Robert Mothersbaugh Sr.
That's right, and other members of the family have come in, old friends of theirs who, the first kind of Devo fans and best friends of the band have been there as guests, and so it's a cool event.
And so this year, as I recall, you had a virtual devotional
last year.
And it went 6+ hours. Is that right?
4.5.
4.5. Oh, okay.
I think 6+ would have killed me.
I've had a couple of 6+ recently that it went by so fast. I was unaware that it had been so long. But for you, I guess you were kind of pulling your hair out trying to get all the different digital feeds and cameras in and everything. So I actually haven't seen it yet, but I know the day before you were sweating bullets.
Oh yeah, it was crazy because I couldn't get the mic to work right. It was just trying to set up everything all at once. But the next day it worked brilliantly. And like you said, it went by so quickly I didn't really feel it, but it did take a toll. I mean, I was mentally exhausted after.
Yeah, the next day you're just
my throat was dry, and it was just a lot of talking constantly for 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And then you're looking into these bright lights for that long, and it's like, it was tricky, but it was fun. I'm glad it worked really smoothly, and thank you to everybody who showed up and participated, and
it was a huge success.
It was crazy.
Yeah. So since then we've met Anne and Peter and the Vinyl Guru. Can you tell us about some of these friends of yours?
Peter Graves is one of these people that he was a Devo fan. I probably was in touch with him a little bit here and there online, Facebook maybe or something, and he just started being one of these people that came in all the time. And then I started recognizing his name more often because he would always be there. You were one of those people too, and Vinyl Guru was somebody that just left a comment on one of my videos once, and she kind of introduced me to this whole vinyl community, this very specific record collector community online, which actually covers a lot more ground than just records, but it is this music community that I was not tapped into until I met her. So that was good. That kind of hipped me to all these little contests that go on and little vinyl community threads.
I see you've been really busy entering a lot of contests lately.
Well, yeah, here's the thing. I did my own contest, and when people enter your contest, then you kind of have to go enter their contest too. So
Sure.
that opens up a whole list of responsibilities, and you try to get as many in as you can. So yeah, it's an interesting thing to be involved with, and it's perfect for me because I work from home and I'm home all the time, and especially during these pandemic times, it just gives me something to do and focus on, and it gives back in all kinds of ways, you know.
Absolutely, absolutely. I certainly have met a lot of good friends on your stream, and if I weren't streaming myself, I would be there. I try and
You can do
pop
both.
in, and
If you had 2 cameras, you could do both.
I try and pop in and at least throw you a super chat if nothing else.
Yeah, you're good that way.
But how can people find your channel and your live stream?
If you just go to youtube.com/M Pilmer, or just search my name, Michael Pilmer, it's right there on the screen, right there somewhere. And I'm easy to find.
And I will recommend everybody to attend Michael's live streams. They're a lot of fun, and you make a lot of friends and meet a lot of people. And if you're interested in music, vinyl, cassette tapes, that kind of thing, CDs, Michael's your man.
I am your man. I'm looking at the chat here to see what's going down. I haven't been paying attention.
Well,
Hey,
we've
Snap
got
Food.
a lot of folks. Hail Michael Pilmer.
That's good. Canadian Spider-Man, what up?
We've got a lot of folks that are
Miko9, what up?
fans of either yours or mine or both, and I do appreciate all the thumbs up that people can hit.
When did the trolls show up?
What's that?
When do the trolls show up? Does that happen?
Not generally. My channel's too small at this point, but eventually I hope I will earn my trolls. You know, other than in your chat and maybe I guess 1 or 2 others where I'm a mod, I'm kind of glad that I'm not a mod on some of the big channels, because
yeah,
I think I might pull the trigger a little too fast.
Yeah, it's a lot of responsibility to keep your eyes on what's going on all the time.
Yeah, and you can't really
flying, like it's just.
Yeah. There are a couple of chats that most of the folks here in the chat that we have and I attend that are just like, you know.
Yeah.
And you really got to know what you're doing. I tend to be the guy that says hi to everybody, and then there are mods that, you know, are watching for anti-Semites and trolls, and, you know, and getting ready to time people out, and you can't really participate in the chat too much when you're, you know, I have 5,000 people,
right,
you know, and it's just scrolling by that fast.
Right.
But can you tell us a little bit about some of the products that have come out, the DEVO related products that have come out since the pandemic?
Okay, well, we'll get the Funko Pops, the vinyl figures. That's something I've been really hoping would happen for a long time. I thought that was a match made in heaven, the Funko and DEVO. And I think the same of Lego, but that never happened. So maybe one day. Yeah, that and the DEVO Leisure shirt was a big hit. That's something I've always wanted to see DEVO remake since I was a kid.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a good, nice thing to check off my list. There's been several reissues that have come down the line.
How many kinds of socks?
I think there's what, 6 pairs of different Devo socks I
8?
got released. Is it 8?
Is it, I think
I
I
don't
think there's
remember.
8.
I can't remember. I know we started off with 2, and then I think we added another 4.
Hmm.
I don't know. But yeah, Merge 4 does those socks. And
Merge 4. Mm-hmm.
we've gotten a lot of good reviews and feedback on those.
Do you have any of this alleged merch nearby that you can show, or?
No, it's all in tubs and storage.
Oh, okay.
You know, I've already done the unboxing videos, and then after
Right.
that, it goes into
People will just have to go to your channel to check them out.
or you can search for Merge 4 or go to merge4.com. They have all the socks there. You can go to clubdevo.com for the whole
I'm trying to throw you
store.
some extra subs, man.
Oh
It's
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
It's
Come
cool.
to my channel too.
Yeah.
But you can't buy anything there.
No,
You can
but
watch
you
the pretty,
can
pretty
find
video.
out about all the new merch
Yeah,
and
you
all
can
the
watch the pretty
cool
unboxing
stuff.
video.
So if you had to pick, and I know you don't like to do this, but if you had to pick your favorite Devo show that you've
I've
been
seen?
to,
Oh.
yeah, what would it be?
That's tough, but that's tough. I can't. It's hard to answer. I mean,
I knew it would be.
it's probably going to be. I'll tell you, one of the ones that made a real impact was during the Freedom of Choice tour that they did in 2009, where they did the whole album Freedom of Choice one night. Are We Not Men the night before? Just seeing those Freedom of Choice songs done live, and some that I've never seen.
In order?
Yeah, it was just fantastic, and I kind of got the same feelings watching that hardcore tour for 2014. It was like songs that me and everybody else had never heard live, and it was so good. So good. So it's really hard to pick a favorite. There's shows that happened overseas in Spain and Italy, and I just couldn't believe I was there. You know, I couldn't believe it was happening. Those kind of things, but it's hard to pick a favorite show.
Yeah. How about a favorite Dickies show?
Every Dickies show is a religious experience for me.
Yeah.
They're powerful. I mean,
I've only seen Devo once, and I've only seen the Dickies once, and they were both long enough ago that it's well past time that I need to see another one.
Both those bands are ready to play, believe me.
There was actually a show in Kansas City that I didn't know about until after it happened that Devo played, and I was so furious that I didn't that the other members of my band who didn't think to tell me about it. That's how much they thought of me as a human being.
Oh my goodness.
No, you know, I was just the drummer, so just checking the
I'm trying to myself here.
The chat here.
I think
so you mentioned Kiss as maybe one of the first bands that you got turned on to, or maybe the very first live show you attended.
It was the first band I really fell in love with. I owned a couple of records, I guess, before that, little 45s. I think it was the Convoy song, you know, the trucking song, and then it was that Streak song.
I had that.
They call him the Streak.
I had that, yeah.
I had that. Stuff like that I'd owned. I maybe might have had.
What was on the B-side?
I don't remember.
I used to know.
Yeah, Discogs will tell you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then the first real concert I saw was Kiss. I'd seen
which of course is Nights in Satan's Service.
That's right, to this day. And I think I'd seen my older sister's boyfriend's band, which I don't know if you see back here, this black square behind me.
Let's see if we can.
It actually says Brushfire in it.
Close that up. Oh, no.
It's a band. You just have to, you can just put me on solo for a second, and I can point it out. But this band is called Brushfire, and they were my sister's boyfriend's band. You can just hit solo layout on mine. Like go to that little 3-dot thing in the corner. Whoop. I like we're kind of dancing right now.
There we go.
Okay, so anyway, that Brushfire logo behind me.
That's not what I meant.
Are you playing a video game?
That's not what I meant to do.
Okay, so we got Brushfire logo back here, and they're a AC/DC kind of cover band, from what I remember them sounding like.
Oh, okay.
The one on the bottom. Show, you know, those shows were like in a garage or in somebody's rehearsal space or something, from what I remember. And then I saw Kiss in 1978. that was the first concert I'd really seen. I was 9 years old.
Mm-hmm. And it's just all downhill from there.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't an uphill climb after that. It was pretty much rock and roll, full steam ahead since that moment.
Now, another thing that you're kind of known for is your cats.
I love cats. They're both sleeping right over there. They hardly ever sleep right next to each other, but they are sleeping right next to each other right now.
Tell us about your cats.
They're gods, and I do what they tell me.
Okay.
They're Miss Cricket and Miss Meowser. They're sisters. They're tabbies.
Meowser, and I didn't know they were sisters.
Yeah, they're beautiful sisters, and they're spoiled rotten. That's how we
Cool. And of course, the reason that you work is for your cats.
Well, the reason I'm alive is because of my cats.
Yeah.
If I didn't have any independence, I'd probably live a lot more dangerously.
We know why the Egyptians worshipped cats as gods, and that's because they are gods.
Yeah, well, it's obvious. If you live with a cat, it's obvious.
Yeah, I'm a cat person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have one currently, but that's more for their protection than for mine. So let's delve a little deeper into the Michael Pilmer experience itself.
My word.
You were involved in some bands back in the 90s. Is that right?
My first band was in the 80s, but yeah, I was involved in bands.
Tell us about your bands from the 80s forward, please.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, Cliff Notes version is...
No, we want the long version.
No, you don't.
We're only half an hour in.
No, it's all good. We might revisit these topics. It's hard for me to make these things interesting because they're not very interesting to me, but they are as little notations. So here's where we'll start. In 1982 or 3, I discovered punk rock through an Anti-Scene show that I went to, basically. And then I discovered that Anti-Scene had a side project called Jeff Leppard, and it was kind of a joke heavy metal band, and they kind of recorded everything that they did on like a boombox or a really cheap recorder, and it was all lo-fi and funny and just ridiculous. And I thought, man, if they could do that, I could do that. That sounds like I could play guitar. So then one of the guys in Anti-Scene taught me how to play guitar. This
wow,
that's 84. I had just one chord.
That's kind of a big deal.
He always told me never to blame him for my guitar playing. and I don't really blame him. He just taught me that one chord. And so then I bought my first guitar. We started our first band called Foaming Tonsils. Actually,
Foaming Tonsils.
The very first band was with my then girlfriend Mindy, and we started a band called Sounds in the Kitchen, and it was because everything we recorded was done with kitchen utensils and stuff. That was just silly stuff. Now, Foaming Tonsils actually played a gig. We released a DIY cassette release, and we did all that stuff in high school. And then after that, I was in Rabid Salesman. That was probably one of the most successful bands from probably 84 or 85 to about 92. We were a punk/rock band, kind of melded a bunch of rock and punk styles together to do something ridiculous. And then we got back together in 2000, what was it, 15 or something, or basically 20-something years after we broke up. We got together for a reunion show. That was fun. Back in the 90s, I was also in some experimental bands. Crapper Keeper was this performance art, weird, very juvenile, offensive, horrible.
That sounds kind of Devo.
Crap. Well, it was very devolved. And then I was in Silica Gel, which was an industrial kind of sample tape loops, found sound, experimental band. I was in a band with Thor in the late 90s called Thor and the Ass Boys. It was a punk rock side project, kind of an inside joke that wasn't really able.
With
really
Thor?
Yeah, it was never really able.
Do you mean the Thor of whom you normally speak?
Yeah, Thor, the Canadian rock warrior.
Yeah. Okay.
We formed a joke, kind of an inside joke punk band in the late 90s, and it was really never supposed to get out too far. It was just an inside joke that we were going to play one party, and then somebody convinced us to release a 7-inch, and then this movie came out many years later that had Thor and the Ass Boys in it, and then we were asked to do another 7-inch, and it just became this thing. It wasn't really a planned avenue to take for years and years, but it happened and it was very joyous.
Yeah, this is the first I'm hearing of it.
Yeah, I was in a movie called I Am Thor. It's the documentary about Thor, the Rock Warrior. It came out in 2016. It was on Netflix. I don't know if it's still on Netflix, but I'm sure it's somewhere. It did really well. It got great reviews.
Cool.
And I'm in it with my band Thor and the Ass Boys, and I'm in it telling Thor to get his laundry done because we got to go, and various things like that. It's an interesting movie.
His laundry done?
Yeah, we were at my house at some point in the movie, and he's doing laundry, and we're on tour.
I couldn't tell if you said to get his wand redone or get
Whoa!
his laundry done.
That's a
I thought
whole
maybe
different
part
movie.
of Thor had a magic wand
If
or
Thor's
something.
getting his wand redone, that's a different kind of movie. With
I
a whole different rating.
don't hear so good.
Hey, I'm noticing some people I got to say hello to here real quick.
Sure.
Roger Flake, nice to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Very cool to see you. Okay, I think that's it. I think I said hello to everybody else.
We do have a Facebook user here.
Oh yeah, I noticed that.
Who
Is that real?
says it's awesome. No.
Is that
Yes.
real or no?
It's not me, but it's because I'm simulcasting to my Facebook page.
Oh, so it doesn't tell you who the Facebook user is. It just
Apparently not. I'm not really sure why, but then again, that wouldn't be unusual.
every Facebook user is just a Facebook user.
Yeah.
YouTube generalizes all Facebook users.
We have a lot of cat enthusiasts.
Oh,
Release the 7-inch.
The vinyl community, it's out. There's 2 7-inches that are out.
Speaking of, I wanted to ask you. You ended up turning me on to some communities in the YouTube space that I'd never heard of, the knitting community and the drama community. Can you speak to those, please?
I don't know about the knitting community. Maybe that was, I don't know how I turned you on to that. But I know the drama community because when I was discovering YouTube, when I was discovering live YouTube, it was when I was laid up with a tour injury years ago.
A tour injury?
Yeah, I was on tour with DEVO and I dislocated my knee or something. And so when I got home, I had to let it heal up. And I was on the couch for like 2 weeks with my leg up in the air. And so I don't have TV, and I was going crazy. And to take a break from work on my laptop, I would just start going on YouTube and just searching for live videos because I was trying to find live news or just live anything that would keep my attention, right?
Sure.
I'm not into movies. I'm not really into fiction. So I was just looking for real stuff to watch to take my mind away. And then I started finding these weird live streams like Ice Poseidon, who did this IRL streaming that was totally crazy. Then that led to me learning about Vlogger Puppets, or maybe Vlogger Puppets was first, but Vlogger Puppets was really what opened me up to the drama community because what he does is he...
And when we're talking about the drama community, we're not talking about thespians, right?
No, we're just talking about people who like to talk shit about other people, and
getting involved in high drama.
It draws people in. So
yeah.
So then I saw this puppet show called Vlogger Puppets, and what he did was he made parodies of these people in what was called the bottom of YouTube, the BOYT, B-O-Y-T, which was a phrase that the Vlogger Puppets guy coined, as far as I know.
Mm-hmm.
And so he would do these puppets, these really rudimentary, horrifying-looking puppets that he would make from things that he would find at thrift stores or flea markets, and they would look really, although they were really DIY and very rough, they looked like these people, and his comedy and everything was just great. So then I had to start looking up who these damn people were that he was mocking, because I had to understand the story to like the puppets, right? So then I started digging around, and I met people like Melton John and Holly Undead and Rosie O'Kelly, and then all those people kind of led me to other channels. And although I'm not a drama person, I'm not like a soap opera watching person, I don't really get off on it, I was mesmerized by how other people really liked it. And because those channels get lots of views, and it's amazing to me. But there is this community that kind of thrives on that energy, that dramatic argument kind of he said, she said, And I respect it. If you could do that, more power to you. It does get a lot of views, and it does channels well.
Speaking of thrift stores, you have an eBay store, and you like to go thrifting, and often will find stuff for $1 or maybe even less that you'll end up selling for quite a bit. How did
Oh,
that start, and tell us about that?
Okay, well, I was always a fan of thrift stores, basically just to find weird stuff to put in our dorm room or whatever. And for years I did that just for fun. Then when I got laid off in 2002 from my marketing job that I had, I decided I would try to get on eBay and sell some music stuff. And I had always looked for music stuff that I wanted to collect in thrift stores, but I never really looked to resell. I had no idea what stuff was worth. And a couple of people who I knew who sold records kind of gave me hints on what to look for, certain labels, certain styles of music. And then I just started dipping my toe in the water and doing it little by little. And then as you get better at it, you start making more money, and it starts becoming really a part of your daily routine, packing up mail orders or going to look for stuff to resell or whatever. But on top of all that, I think the important thing is, and the thing that really drives me, is that there are these items in these thrift stores that people like you and me and other people, collectors who like physical things, hoarders, if you will, there are these things that we would really appreciate, but that often get thrown away because nobody rescues them in time from the thrift store. So I always grab things where I'm like, man, this is not worth a lot of money, but if I could just get it to somebody else who would appreciate it because it's in such good shape or it's so rare or whatever, then that's half the fun. But then when you find something that you can sell for several $100s, that's really fun. That's great.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's not all about the money. It's not all about the money. It's a kind of a hobby.
The
sport.
quest.
It's a sport almost.
Yeah. I saw a video that I think you posted either today or recently that had your under $1 cassette tapes of metal bands that you'd rescued. Yeah. And
yeah, I just bought those yesterday. Yeah.
And definitely a great example for anybody that wants to take up the gauntlet or just get an idea of kind of how your eBay career works, is to check that out.
Yeah, it was interesting. I went to this one place at the flea market, and they had all these crates of cassettes, and they told me I could look through them. They were $1 each, and if I got a lot, they would give me a deal. So I got 26 cassettes for $20, which is great because most of those cassettes are worth $20 or more. And I wish I could keep more of them in my metal collection because it's really cool to have old 80s metal like sealed. But I am going to sell the majority of them just to keep things moving. But I'm keeping a couple of them that I can't let go.
So that's another thing that I don't know personally that much about you. You're not just into DEVO and The Dickies and punk bands, but you're into all kinds of music. People might be surprised at some of the music that you're into. Exactly.
Yeah.
Can you tell us some of the other bands and performers that you're a collector of?
Yeah, something that might surprise people is I'm really into Debbie Gibson. I have been since the 80s. I'm a pretty major collector of her stuff, and just a huge fan. I started liking her by accident, really. I bought her cassette out of the blue somewhere for really cheap when I was a punk rocker in the 80s, and I played it in my car just to bother my friends, just as a joke. And then I started liking it. I really liked it, and then I got her next album, liked that, and then I joined the fan club, and then
wow.
But yeah, I like her. I like a lot of synth pop. I like a lot of old jazz, like Cab Calloway and the Boswell Sisters. But yeah, I'm not afraid of pop music. There's some new pop music I really like. There's this guy named Oliver Tree that's very fantastic, and Melanie Martinez is great. Very, very pop stuff, but I dig it. Don't know why.
What other bands are you a collector of that people might be surprised to hear?
Well, I like Zig Zig Sputnik, and hardly anybody from England likes them, I think. Every time I talk to somebody from England, they don't like Zig Zig Sputnik, but I love them. Have always loved them. No, I mean, everything else is pretty predictable. I'm looking around the house going, what would be surprising?
We can probably tell from a lot of the stuff behind you.
Yeah,
speaking of England, I remember hearing on your show not too long ago and I say speaking of England as a pretty poor segue. We'll keep it in the UK here. Well, it was the Dolly experience in the bar across the way from the venue. Can you tell us about that? That you were playing across the street from this Irish pub, and there was a Dolly Parton show that you guys got invited to.
Oh, okay. The Dolly Parton show was in Atlantic City. That was
okay.
in America.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, the being an Ireland thing was we were playing a show in this venue, and right across the street was a pub, and some fans had asked me to go over there to have a drink with them before the show, and I said, look, I got about an hour window, 2-hour window, I can come over there and have a quick drink. And so I went over, and then I don't know, I was bothered by the fact that they were playing Irish music constantly in that Irish bar, and I was like, I was just thinking to myself, can you play anything else? Like, what is going on? Like,
and they weren't playing the Pogues or are you even familiar with the Pogues?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
It was like traditional stuff. It was like,
yeah.
And there was all these DEVO fans in there. Obviously, there was a shit ton of DEVO shirts. Everybody was like my age and or younger. And
were they all from around there?
Obviously into 80s music. Oh, I don't know. They all had accents. I don't think anybody was an American except for me. But
okay.
Who knows where they're from? But it was just one of those times where I thought it was funny that I was requesting basically an Irish bar to not play Irish music. I don't think I actually requested it, but I openly asked people, like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, why are we hearing this traditional Irish music over and over? It only happens on holidays, doesn't it? Like, what the hell?
And was that in Dublin?
I can't remember. That's probably a good bet, though.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But fun times. I miss touring.
Oh, I bet. And I bet DEVO does too. And I didn't realize until I heard Jerry talking about the year that he graduated from Kent State, which was the year I was born. Exactly how much older they were than the generation that I think that caught on to them, because their triple platinum album, Freedom of Choice, was a solidly 80s album, and people don't realize that they started in 1974.
Yeah.
So
72, 74, something like that.
Yeah, and they don't look that old. They've obviously never sounded that old. They've always been anti-establishment, obviously.
Yeah.
And so I was really surprised. And still, when you see DEVO perform shows from 2018, 2019, they're hopping around, they're doing all kinds of stuff, and not just because Josh Freese is their drummer. These guys have been doing this thing a long time. They're nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame yet again this year. I've been doing my duty now for the future and voting daily, which hasn't seemed to have much of an effect because they're not in the top 5, and I think that they're nudging out Todd Rundgren by a vote here or there.
Yeah.
Any feelings about that?
No, not really.
No?
No, I mean, it would be nice for them to get in and do the ceremony. It would be great, but at the end of the day,
it's largely political, isn't it?
I'm not going to really lose sleep over it. Well, I don't know what it is. I don't know really how they really make the decisions or how that goes down. I'm not really concerned with it, but it would be cool for them to get in and do it.
It is, in fact, largely political.
Yeah, I take your word for it.
It's it's got a lot to do with the bands that get voted in. Can they perform a set, at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland? And it's more than a popularity contest, although it's largely a popularity contest. And DEVO, again, having had a triple platinum album in the 80s, this is right around the time when you'd think they'd get initiated. But these other bands that I guess were bigger, more mainstream might be a better word for it, later than they were, keep getting voted ahead of them. Like this year, the Foo Fighters. I think the Foo Fighters were ahead of them last year too, around this time. And then you've got old standbys and things like that, bands that are just going to make it because they're going to make it.
Mhm.
But it is a largely political situation.
Yeah, let me just say hi to a couple people. Zeb is here. What's up, Zeb? Nice to see you. And Dr. Herkenmonkey is here.
Yeah.
He loves the Bob Dobbs shirt. Thank you, Dr. Herkenmonkey, assuming you're a male. There you go. This is an unauthorized shirt.
Dr. Herkenmonkey is a person with good taste, and we have a question about Eskimo on the wall. Is the picture disc
on your wall?
It's not on my wall.
It's not on my wall.
Unless they're asking about the residence.
That's probably what they're asking about. It's called Eskimo, isn't it?
It's not a picture disc. It's actually a turntable. A
mat.
Mat. Yeah. So you've got the picture discs. I don't have any picture discs.
I don't think I have the picture discs of Residence Eskimo. I don't think.
No. But certainly you have picture discs and I have none. So.
Oh, you don't have any picture discs in your collection?
Nope. I sold my vinyl collection to woo a girl a long time ago, which
worked, didn't it? It worked.
It did. I made a profit on every single one, but
you wooed the girl?
And I wooed the girl. But my vinyl collection now is pretty. It's within one crate, so it's literally just stuff to sell on eBay.
Hey, Roger Flake.
As in the residence, correct.
Roger Flake, thanks for the compliment on my tizzy dance. I did a dance to my new favorite punk band, Tizzy, the other day.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, they're great. I love that band. Hey, H-Tom C42 is here, my friend Wayne, who lives here in Raleigh.
Yep.
That's what he was asking about. Okay.
Yep. And it's great that you have friends in Raleigh that you can occasionally, have over and,
Yeah, most of my friends are vaccinated now.
Oh, really?
A lot of friends that work in the hospital industry for some reason. So they were some of the first to get theirs, and then I just got my first one because I just happened to take some surplus stuff that they called me about. They said, "Hey, come to the hospital. We got some extra doses." And
yeah, I've heard that you can get on like the emergency list, or if the pharmacy's about to close and somebody didn't make their appointment, you can get called in. And I just live a few blocks away from my pharmacy, so I'm definitely gonna ride that bandwagon.
Yeah, I wasn't able to sign up on any list because I don't qualify in any way. But I was able to take one that was left over that was going to be thrown away if somebody didn't take it. So I jumped right in my car and went over there. And so I think at some point really soon here, probably going to have some kind of real party social gathering here with all vaccinated friends.
That's great.
We'll see what happens. We'll go live with, or maybe we'll go live with that. Yeah.
That would be a lot of fun, especially for those of us that can't join.
I want to say something about Zeb's comment there. Pilmer's dance, it says Pilmer's dance should win that competition. Well, my dance did not win that competition, which is totally understandable because the competition was really about mimicking the guy who hosted the competition, which I couldn't really do because I didn't have the right kind of music to play that this guy plays. It's a long story, but Madam Sin is the guy who hosted the contest. And I just did a little riff on it, like if Madam Sin listened to this other music that he doesn't really listen to, this is how he would dance, right? So I didn't really follow the rules.
I think I saw that.
But it was quite energetic, and if anybody would like to send me a prize for that dance, I'll take it.
I think there's a hit me with your best shot joke in here somewhere, but I'm not going to make it. Unfortunately, he did not win, but did get a mention. Yes, we are, says Tim Nolan.
My goodness.
Yeah.
So, Cardinal, I have a question for you. Have you ever tried to do a human beatbox?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Can you
back in the day, I was actually rather renowned for it.
Can you maybe give us a little?
Oh no, my voice is cracked
Well, it
to the
can just
point
be,
where I can't even produce those sounds vocally anymore.
maybe it
I
would be,
I'm
it would,
actually a flesh and bones drummer, but you can start to hear my voice already just at the thought of it start to congeal with phlegm.
well,
So
it would just be more industrial sounding than a typical beatbox.
for you, I'll try.
Don't hurt yourself. Oh, here he goes. Everybody,
It's been 30 years,
you might want to
literally.
make yourself big
So
so everybody can really
I want to
see.
make myself as small as possible at this point.
Make your hands big.
Um,
All right, I'm watching.
I can't even make my mouth do
That was
that.
great. Yeah, just get warmed
No,
up.
I
Just get
can't.
warmed up. Just get.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
maybe a little later you can try.
maybe later. Probably not, but maybe later. It's no, yeah, that's see, I hadn't thought about this part of it, but
Well, I didn't want to keep. I wanted to keep the spit from going
that
everywhere.
was no, that was much better
Now
than
all in
anything
here.
that would have come out of my mouth. But hey, it's my interview show. I asked the questions
That's
here.
right. I got one in there, didn't I?
You did. So when on the road with Devo, what's a typical experience that you'll have other than actually, the backstage, the prep, more like the stuff um, that happens around town when you guys are driving around. For instance, there's a great story that you tell about being in a car with Devo when they started singing Devo. Can you tell us about
Oh,
that?
that was my friend Bob too. Rest in peace, my
Rest in
friend.
peace.
Uh, it was one of the first times I was visiting Los Angeles, or this is actually Santa Monica, and I was staying at
It
Bob.
was actually Santa Monica.
It was Santa
Yes.
Monica. It was not Los Angeles, and Santa Monica is a lot different than Los Angeles proper. So we're driving around Santa Monica, and I was staying at his house. Me and my girlfriend were staying at Bob Two's house in Bob and Lisa's guest room. It was one of the first times we had visited, and Bob's parents just happened to be in town. I don't know for what reason. I don't know if it was a holiday. I don't know the reason, but they were in town visiting from Ohio, and they're kind of a bowling family. Most people in Ohio are bowlers.
Sure. Yeah.
So we're on the way to the bowling alley, and Bob too is driving. I'm in the passenger seat. Lisa and the kids are in the back of this. I think it was a station wagon of some kind. And we're coming up to
Casale.
Casale. That's right.
Yeah.
And we're coming up to the this weird intersection right before the bowling alley, and it was kind of like a loop or some kind of weird intersection. And I said, "Oh, be careful right here because you're going to get stuck in this loop." And he said, then he started singing "Stuck in a Loop" by Devo. Stuck in a loop again. I was like, "Whoa, wait a second, you're freaking me out a little bit." It was like first time
And
I was in
everybody
the car.
started singing, or
It was just putting me in a weird spot, being the huge fan that I was. It was like, okay, I'm in a car with Bob.
am I gonna get stuck?
We're going
Stuck
bowling with his
in a loop.
family, and he's singing Smooth Noodle Map song. It was just because I love that record.
Yeah, me too.
It's not a very popular Devo record, but I love it. Love it.
I love it. I love that song.
Hey,
Um,
Ryan Kidd is here. Ryan Kidd. Let me tell you about Ryan Kidd.
how do you see these comments that I don't see
I'm
until
seeing him. Well, I'm looking
after
at it
you do?
through the StreamYard site. You might have your chat set on
Oh,
top chat instead of live chat. Anyway, Ryan Kidd is here. He's this great punk kid who has a channel. Him and his friend Jason Skills have been doing some streams lately and having a bunch
Kid
of
and
fun.
Skills,
Jason Skills. His channel is Low
Skills
Noise.
and Kid.
Low Noise Jason Skills is the channel, and Ryan Kidd is the channel. And they're these two punk kids who I call them kids, but they're punk guys who talk about records a lot. And they've just started doing their first live streams. I think they just did their second one a couple nights ago. And I've been popping in to say hi to them. So he popped in here, and I'm really appreciative about that, Ryan. That's so
Awesome, awesome.
yeah. And you know, he's good on screen. He's a good talker. I don't know if he'd be willing to come up at some point, but he's a good talker.
And something that people who are new to your chat or haven't seen your chat before, might need to know that you're not a fan of beer.
I love beer.
You're not a fan of liquor.
I love liquor, but only certain kinds of beer and liquor. I'm not a fan of all of them. I'm not
Yeah.
into trying new.
You don't like the kind with a taste.
Yeah, I don't like hoppy beer or hip good beer. I don't like good beer typically.
Right.
I mean, I think it's good, but
And certainly great Scottish whiskey
just
or
Canadian
Scotch
whiskey,
whiskey
just
might be
straight up
wasted on
Canadian.
you. So during your show, you drink wine,
Sometimes,
as you
sometimes I have
are
liquor and beer. Sometimes I have
tonight.
more. Yes.
So tell us about uh, your wine buying practices and about maybe the best wine you've ever had.
Well, the best one I've ever had was certainly probably purchased for me by Jerry Casale at some point when we were at a fancy restaurant. Other than that, I buy what's on sale. And I'm not really particular, except that I like red wine, and I only drink socially, so that's why I tend to drink on live streams, because that's when I tend to be social these days.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't drink alone.
And when you drink alone, you prefer to be by yourself, is what I understand.
I don't drink alone because I'm by myself most of the time.
Most of the time. Okay.
So I only drink when I'm with people so that I don't drink so much.
That makes sense. It's a good rule if you're going to have one.
Slim somehow.
And of course, Gerald Casale owns a winery. Can you tell us about that?
Oh, wait, Zeb, let me just mention Zeb. Yes, I agree, Zeb. You need to check those two albums out. And those Futurismo reissues have great bonus tracks that
they do.
So, yeah, check those out, Zeb.
Own some myself.
Yeah, I'm interested to know your opinion on those. And let me just mention about those real quick and keep that question that you had in mind, because I already forgot.
Bing.
When we were putting the idea, we had the idea to put those out long before we got the rights to. Me and Delaney from Futurismo had kind of pontificated and dreamed about reissuing stuff like that. And also, oh no, it's DEVO and Shout. We really wanted to do those. But Smooth Needle Maps and Total DEVO were something we really wanted to do. And at some point, a contact at Warner Brothers or somebody that he knew basically said, look, we'll let them do it. We're not going to mess with them on those two releases. They can do it. We're not going to hassle them. So we were really happy. And then right as we were kind of discussing the reality of maybe putting those out again as a double deluxe set, each album, I just happened upon some unreleased demos from both of those records that I received in the mail from somebody who used to work for Mark. It was kind of a trade we did. She wanted to get rid of the stuff. She didn't have any use for it. She knew that I would at least archive it and make use of it. So it just happened to be that those tapes of those bonus tracks came to me right before we were going to really put that package together. So it's a beautiful coincidence and miracle, and that's how the rock and roll gods work, mysteriously.
Indeed.
Yeah.
In mysterious ways.
That's all. I just wanted to tell that little story about those DEVO records.
And Canadian Spider-Man is drinking alone right now,
well,
going on 7 days, but then he goes 4 weeks without.
But he's not drinking alone because he's here with us.
That's right.
This is socializing. Duh.
This is, in fact, social drinking.
Yeah.
If you are drinking. I'm still in coffee mode, but I thought I might take a look over here to see if this would lead into my next question, and in fact it will.
Every time you bend up like that, I'm going to make a fart sound, okay?
I'd rather you didn't, really.
Okay,
but
thank you. Thank you. I'll go ahead and do that then.
Well, you feel free. After all, it is my channel.
That's right, and I'm going to do it.
So we were talking about special editions of Futurismo, and I was wondering if you might tell us a little bit about how this little guy got to be, and for folks that can't see very well or are having a hard time seeing, this is the DEVO live Seattle. Is this 2012?
1981.
1981. Okay.
It was released in 2012.
2012. Yeah, and it's got all kinds of cool graphics with a replica ticket.
That's an
And
actual stand, a real ticket from that show, that's for sure.
yeah, and the disc is really cool, and I think there's even
There's a
a
booklet.
little booklet in here that you helped put together. While I get this out, why don't you start telling folks about how this came to be, and I will show it off.
Okay, that is one of the many dreams come true that has happened in my life. Thank goodness for the rock and roll gods and how they treat me. So the story is that one of the first times I went to Bob Casale's house, Bob Casale of DEVO, my dear friend, I was staying there, and the Casales approached me and my girlfriend about house sitting for them when they played a few shows on Lollapalooza in I believe it was 97. And so for a few shows,
96, I think you'll find.
96 and 97, but this was the 97 portion. They played Lollapalooza 2 years in a row. And
I did not know that.
So in 97, at some point, we went out to California. We house sit for them for a couple of nights while they were at certain shows in California, and then we actually went with them to other shows on the Lollapalooza tour. But we did house sit for 2-3 days. And during the house sitting, they basically told me, look, anything you find DEVO related that you want to take pictures of or that you want to record, like if you find tapes or whatever, go for it. So I flew out there with a DAT machine, a DAT player.
A digital audio tape?
That's right. And it was borrowed from a friend of mine, and a bunch of blank DAT tapes. And I found this shoebox full of cassettes, basically, in the Casale's closet. And some of them were labeled with the date of the show. Some of them weren't. And basically, these were tapes that the band would give to the sound man every day on the tour, or some days on the tour. And then at the end of the show, the sound man would give them a recording of the show on the cassette. And I guess they would use it to just review the show, review mistakes, what happened here, what happened there. And a lot of these probably had never been played before. So long story shorter, I found recordings of this 1981 tour, which I had never heard really good live recordings of the tour. I was just mesmerized by being able to hear live versions of some of the songs that I grew up listening to. And I always dreamed about making that a reality, making it a real release. And there had been a couple of copies of it on CDR distributed to a couple of really hardcore DEVO fans that I knew, and we would listen to it all the time and love it. So finally, in 2012, after we parted ways with Warner Brothers, I was like, look, guys, I think we should go ahead and put out a record immediately after we part ways with them, because Record Stores Day is coming up, and we have this one recording that might make a really good record, and I think it would just show people that we don't really need Warner Brothers to put out records. We can put out records just with DEVO, like on
which
Boogie
they
Boy
had
Records.
done on their very first single, Boogie Boy Records.
Yeah, so I didn't want to have to wait around for another record label to offer them a deal to put out a record. I just wanted something to happen. So we put it on our own label, a place here in North Carolina called Red Eye Distribution actually pressed it and made it for us, and I designed the whole cover and the whole booklet and all the album and all that stuff. But it was a dream come true because I just really wanted other fans to hear that. And Bob Casale took the tracks and did a little mixing and
a
little finessing,
promotional or not production magic.
Yeah, he did his thing. He's the production guy of DEVO, so it was just one of those things, dream come true. Now I have it on vinyl and CD, and I couldn't be happier with it.
I even kept my sticker.
Oh yeah, I keep those too. Now let me tell you, anybody who's interested in owning that on CD or record, I currently am hosting a contest on my YouTube page. If you go to my YouTube page, Michael Pilmer, and just search for the 3K subscribers contest, 3,000 subscribers. I announced it probably a week or two ago. You can enter my contest and possibly win the DEVO Live in Seattle album or CD, your choice.
I can't believe, Michael, that you are ruining my chances of winning this contest on my channel.
What do you mean?
I hate you.
How am I ruining it?
Well, because I legendarily entered this contest in a way that would be obvious to anyone that saw my entry that I would win. And now you're talking about it, but that's okay. I feel confident enough in my entry that unless it's like just a random choice out of a hat or something, that I'll win. I'll be fine.
Well, here's the thing. It's really political, and it's all about the fan vote, and the fan vote goes into this kind of...
Oh, the fans vote on it.
Yeah, the machine takes the fan vote and then spits it out as this fraction of a vote.
There's a punch card, and
it's really the rich people that decide. So the rich people will be deciding.
See here, I thought I was making the video for you.
You're making it for me.
But now I understand more about this other information. So let's go ahead and...
Don't you worry your little head. I think you'll find some surprising outcomes to that.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I thought it was inspired. Miracle Witness Hour.
Yeah.
Tell us what's going on with Zeb's comment here.
I can't remember what errors were on it. I don't remember.
Is this the reason it was so butchered?
I don't know. I don't remember the errors. Maybe there was a typo in the cover or something. I don't know. But Miracle Witness Hour was a very early DEVO show, another show that I had on CDR for many years, decades. And it was just something that had been distributed in the DEVO fan trader community for years. And it was always one of my favorite CDs to listen to, and I would play it for other DEVO fans. And it was such old, raw DEVO live in a very, very small little club. It was just a beautiful time in their life. So when Futurismo came around, I think that was the very first thing we released, was that because I had already released the Live in Seattle, which was the main thing I always wanted to release. And so after that was done, Futurismo came into the picture and was like, what do you have? And I said, well, I have this really old hardcore era show, and it's really good, but I don't know if we can get the band behind it. I don't know if they own the recording. And it turns out they did own the recording because it was done before they had a record contract. So that's one of the reasons that Miracle Witness Hour came out, because we knew.
And that's a Futurismo release as well.
It was the very first one we did with them. Yeah, it was beautiful, beautiful packaging. And honestly, I do not remember what errors were on it. So
well, I've never heard of it. So
I enjoyed listening to it for years. And
I need to find a friend that has a copy, evidently.
Now Zeb says he's winning the competition, so you guys might have to fight this out on screen.
Yeah, he can have it.
Well, you already own the CD. You just,
yeah, but the vinyl.
But here's the deal, even if so say let's just say that you somehow win the CD, but you already
let's say I do.
Then you can reach out to your viewers and go, okay, look, I'm going to have Michael Pilmer send that prize to one of you. And then you can have your own contest to get the people to win the prize that you won for me. You could really...
Unfortunately, I'm not even monetized yet, so it would be a pretty small contest.
No, but here's the deal. A lot of people have contests where...
to spike their viewers, right.
Well, it's like, yeah, it's the race to 400 subscribers or whatever. Like if you're, if you're at 350 and you're really trying to get to 400, then you have a contest.
Actually, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yep.
Tomorrow, the 15th, which is the day that I interview Greg Bear, seminal science fiction and cyberpunk writer, I'm going for 250 subscribers.
What are you at now?
Less.
I'm going to try to see right now. Okay, so, yeah. Oh, I think you could do that. And, like I said, a contest would help. And since you're in this sci-fi kind of movie book kind of world, you might want to throw a few trivia questions out. Now, the thing is, if you do a contest, here's the secret. You want to make it as simple as possible, because you don't want to get wrapped up in too many.
Yeah, I noticed that one of the entries you had, there was like 7 steps, and you've had, it was like a half-hour entry.
Yeah, I think that was probably the what's called the vinyl community thread, or it's called something, but it starts up every year. The beginning of every year, somebody comes up with a VC vinyl community thread.
Oh, it's supposed to be a Shaggy Dog story. Is that the deal?
I don't know what that means, but I'm not a dog.
A long, involved process that doesn't need to be.
Well, it's just supposed to be every year you get a list of 10 or whatever questions that everybody in the vinyl community will answer if they like your thread the best. So if you come up with a really interesting thread, with interesting questions that people can answer about their own thing, then what happens is that people in the vinyl community start searching for this tagline. I think it's like, vinyl community tag 2021 or whatever it was. So they search for that, and people just religiously watch all the vinyl tag videos for like the first month or two of the year. That's all they do is they wake up in the morning and they see all the VCLT videos that are going up. And
it hadn't even occurred to me to watch other entrants.
Yeah, this is how you network and make friends.
Because I thought you were the judge of who won.
Well, sometimes it's a raffle. Sometimes it's a draw out of the hat kind of thing. But what you want to do is you want to get people to participate. And then by you getting people to participate, you get more subs, because usually one of the rules is to enter my contest, you got to sub my channel. Boom. And then what you end up happening is you start then subbing all the people that entered your contest. And then other people who were my subs and see their video entries, then they sub them up. And so everybody wins. Everybody networks and makes friends. And
by the way, anybody that would care to see my entry into Michael's contest, the video, can find it in my playlist, Cardinal Sin Rants.
You can put the link up if you want to.
No, I just wanted to let people know, because it gives people another reason to stick around on my channel and look at more of my videos.
That's right. Yeah,
and Zeb, appreciate the subscription, my friend.
There you go.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, so there's new people popping up with brand new channels. Another friend of mine, he actually was convinced to start a channel for the first time recently when he joined my contest. The first video he ever did was for my contest, and his channel is named Wax Ecstatic. Wax Ecstatic.
Yeah, I remember. Yes.
Yeah, his name is Tuco. He's from out west, and he played bass in the Thor band when we were on tour with Thor in 2005, 2006, something like that. He's a good guy.
Wait. Okay. When DEVO was on tour.
No, Thor. He played bass in Thor.
Yes, but when you said we were on tour with Thor,
yeah, I was
thinking Thor and the Badass Boys or whatever.
Thor and the Ass Boys was not touring, but I was working as Thor's tour manager.
Right.
So I was on tour with Tuco, and we made friends, and he has such an awesome music collection and such a wide taste. He's basically a metal punk guy, but then he also goes way out into like exotica stuff and weird instructional records and bizarre, really cool stuff that's right up my alley. And so to see him doing videos, and he's really getting into editing and using logos and very nice production values in his videos. So
I discovered pretty early on in having my channel that if you wanted to have a channel, you really had to learn how to edit. And I felt like it was a pretty steep learning curve for me, Cardinal Sin. But turns out, to create content, you just have to get over that hump, and I did.
Yeah, I have a very rudimentary video editing system that just came with my computer, my Windows computer. It's called Photos, and actually it's mostly for doing simple edits on photos, but it also has a little tab for video.
Video editor.
And it's just really simple stuff. I can add some text here and there. I could edit things together, but I can't really do a bunch of whiz-bang stuff, but just enough to get me by. But Jason Lindsay is here. He says hello, and he is a huge DEVO fan who was part of that Devotional 2020 live stream. He wore about, I think, a dozen different DEVO costumes during that live stream that he made all himself. And Phantom Outsider is here. I don't know if I know them, but it's good to see a new person in the chat. So yeah, Jason's a good guy. He's from Texas, and he is very, very obsessed with DEVO and most synth pop in general.
Aren't we all?
Well, no.
Not really. Not really.
Jason is so dedicated to basically trying to live in the 80s. Like, he dresses 80s, everything in the house is 80s.
Just dragging the 80s back.
He's got synth collection. He can work on synths. He's a brainiac in that way. And yeah, great guy.
And has no digital downloads because they did not exist at that time.
I'm trying to get him to start his own channel, but it's kind of an uphill battle.
I know. It's funny. A lot of people that are outgoing, type people and you'd think would be really good channel types.
Channel whores? Is that what you want to say? Channel whores?
Yeah. It turns out they take more arm wrenching than some.
Well, here's what happens though, is that this happened to the Vinyl Guru.
Mm-hmm.
Case in point, she did not want to start a YouTube channel, but her friends kept pushing her. You got to start one. You got such a great record collection. You got to start one. You got to share this stuff. She was begrudgingly pushed into it, and then once she started it, she all of a sudden figured out why it was important, because you connect with people and you interact, and people have your same passion and they give you good feedback most of the time, and just a good thing, it's almost a necessity.
It's a good thing.
It's a necessity. And my friend Jason, I think he would very much benefit from having an outlet to show all his stuff on video, because he shows it a lot on Facebook via photos. Boop, boop, boop. Here's my this, here's my that, here's the synths, here's the records. But if he had an outlet to do it on video, I think a lot of people, including myself, would enjoy watching it. And I think he would do well with that.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
It's a good point. I have a friend I think would be a great YouTuber, but he doesn't do Facebook. He doesn't do YouTube. He doesn't really engage in social media because he's paranoid, and rightfully so, that that they're going to take his data and do something nefarious with it, which of course we know is just the way it is.
If I thought my data was worth anything, I'd be a lot more paranoid. But
yeah, me too. Yeah.
Doxing and all that stuff.
His data is worth something, so
it doesn't bother me. My email and my phone number and my address is out there so much that it's like whatever.
Yeah.
My life is not that interesting. Nobody wants to break into it.
And it's already been exposed. So
yeah, and it's like everybody knows where the hell I am. Doesn't matter. I do have to say though, in probably 34 minutes, I have to go because I have a dinner appointment set up. I have to leave here right around 6. Might be able to push it a few minutes, but I'm waiting for a text for who's coming to get me.
Well, that'll be right around when we're ready to wrap up.
But look, see how quickly that blew by? We only have 30 minutes left. And
I know. It's crazy.
So if I would have talked about my bands for 30 minutes, we would have eaten up too much time with that.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I know what I'm doing.
That's true. You've certainly live streamed more than I have.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just kidding. But look, we got 11 people, I think, in here. We got 12 likes. That's doing really good. I'm really glad to notice a handful of people that I know really well in here. And I'm glad.
As am I.
I'm glad to see people that I don't know in here, your followers. And I hope that they would consider going over and checking out my stuff there.
I don't know that I'd call them my followers, but they are my friends, my online friends. And yes, one of the reasons why I'm having you on is so that our friends can become friends with each other, and they can mingle and subscribe to each other's channels, and that's kind of the whole deal. And turn people onto each other.
Here's this thing about YouTube that I discovered. As far as I'm concerned, there are different pockets of YouTube. Like I said, there's like the RV community, there's the drama community, there's like the music VC community. There's the sci-fi, community that you kind of have a stake in. There's all kinds of stuff going on. But I really love when channels start to bleed over. Like, some of the people from the drama community have now been coming into my music-related streams, and they've been doing more music content on their basically what was a drama or a parody channel or whatever. Now they're doing just more music-themed stuff. And for music channels to kind of go over and poke their head around in the drama channels like I do, say hi to people. I try to get the people in the drama community to talk about records and bands while they're trying to argue about dumb shit. It's just great. So I like to kind of branch out into these other communities that I really don't fit in necessarily, but then you try to mix it up a little bit, and then you get some of those people to come over to yours, and it just kind of spreads the love in some way for the most part.
It does, yeah. And like I said, that's kind of the whole idea, is to intermingle, if you will, the fandoms.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be said for the videos that people post that aren't live, that I watch within the community just to kind of get a feel for people's personalities or what they're into. But there's, I think, a huge value to live streaming and being able to interact with people like this, like
especially if you're monetized. Yes, there is a value.
Well, yeah, but that's how you get there. You have to build that audience and build
Exactly.
followers. And the way you do it is with these live streams, really getting to know people and to interact with them face to face is, I think, very powerful here on YouTube, and it can do good for you. Canadian Spider-Man has a few things to talk about.
He does. And Alex James is mentioning that there is the Hobgoblin in reply to the Phantom Outsider that no one follows Cardinal Sin, especially after he's had chili or chili dogs.
Depending on what you're into.
A lot of my fans apparently don't know yet that I'm a vegan. Although you certainly can make vegan chili dogs, and they're not bad. It's just, I don't think they know that.
They're still farty foods.
Oh, gosh, yes. Vegan foods are fartier than most.
Maybe we should have a fart stream someday.
Someday, maybe we'll look into that.
Mix some beatbox in there?
Maybe.
Beatbox/farting.
We'll do that on your channel.
Okay. Beatbox/farting/sleep stream. So it would basically end with us falling asleep and the camera running for 8 hours as we slept and farting during our sleep.
However long the StreamYard limit is when no one's.
I think it's 10 hours. Well, I've seen somebody stream 10 or 11 hours straight. They were going 100 hours for their stream, and they did about 9 or 10 different streams, part 1, part 2, part 3, and each of them was 10 or 11 hours long. And they almost made it. Their last stream, they fell asleep right in the last 2
hours. You mean they stayed up for 100 hours?
100 hours and did a stream, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I would not recommend that ever.
I don't think they would either. But they made it to like hour 97 and something before they passed out. But they basically did it. It was basically a success. But yeah, I'm intrigued by that live streaming thing and how it's working, and to watch everybody kind of take it on as it's more of a mainstream thing since the pandemic started, certainly. So
sure,
people.
YouTube viewing and subscriptions to YouTube have gone up 75% since the beginning of the pandemic.
Can you please put Jason Lindsay's comment up there? That's Jason Lindsay, my boy from Texas. You know those Texas guys? They're a little funny.
I was actually I was actually trying to skip that one, trying to keep the level up a little bit here, but
but that's political.
So the Phantom Outsider wants to know: did they stream passing out?
Yeah, they fell asleep in their chair, and then
they were streaming that until
it went until and you can see that everything's getting darker as they're sleeping, and then at some point he kind of half wakes up and crawls in bed, and the camera's still going. Right, so, yeah,
that's great.
And then the dad walks in and takes the food dishes that the kid left out and kind of shuts the light off and walks out and leaves the kid sleeping. This is all on.
And he has no idea.
But he left it up. It's still up on his channel.
That's hilarious.
I forget his name. I think his name is he's got a weird name. It starts with an O.
It'll come back to you.
Oh man.
Actually, there was some back and forth about what the YouTube
algorithm?
The length of time that you could stream was, and one guy that's a member of the Fandom Menace went for over 24 hours. I think he went for 30 hours on one live stream. He didn't break it up. It was just one stream. And he could have gone longer, but he had to sleep.
One continuous video.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what limitations are in StreamYard or in YouTube, or what limitations this kid who was streaming for 100 hours was using, but I knew that he could do it in 10-hour segments. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. I know that StreamYard, if you have a free account, gives you 40 hours of streaming a month or something like that for free, but above and beyond that, you have to pay for it. But you have a paid account, right?
I have kind of a halfway I ended up getting this $10 deal,
Mm.
and it mentions that you can have up to 10 people,
Yep.
you know, in your stream, but I think I can only have 6.
No, well, here's the problem is that, the backstage area below your
Hmm.
screen,
Right,
if you have 4 or 5 people in there, it's hard to see the people below them
right.
that are waiting to get in. So I'll
I've
often miss
I've
people.
had at least 6 on. I think I may have been pretty close to testing that out, because I think I had 6, and I was looking to see if we were going to have 7. Um,
I think that's considered an orgy.
yeah, yeah, that's actually what it's called, a
Yeah.
StreamYard orgy. And so
You're,
what's happened is on Sundays, I've gone from Cardinal Sin and, like with you, one other person, to Cardinal Sin and friends, and it's been sort of a panel thing where
Mhm.
several people show up, and
Yep.
that's sort of been how we've been doing it recently. And
I've been in the
when
chat for some of those.
there's someone of value to me, or someone that I feel is important to have on, rather than just the peanut gallery, as I am with you, then I'll go back to the one-on-one dynamic. So
Yeah.
next week, it'll be me and the gang again, as opposed to Cool. And we'll all have a lot of fun. But those are the streams that I was saying before that go like over 6 hours.
Yeah. See, I just can't
So
sit that long. I mean, if I sit that long, I start hurting and my butt is sweating. It's just like, okay, I can't.
yeah,
I just can't.
it's
4.5 hours is my limit.
not a problem for me. It's a matter of iron bladder.
Wow,
So,
that was good. See, now you did that. I think you can do a beatbox at some point.
well, the pseudo Japanese little uses different, and again, now I'm you know chutzpahing up just at the thought of the human beatbox.
I
So
love that.
the phlegm is flowing, my friend.
I make it
So
happen.
perhaps that may not be the greatest idea.
Oh, just so that you know, Jason Lindsay is not currently sniffing his chair at this moment.
He's not currently what?
Sniffing his chair.
Good. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Or cupping your hands, right?
Oh yeah, they're talking about weird stuff right now.
Yep, they are.
Well, now he's playing records, so that's at least in the vinyl community.
That's right. Two
We're not,
PL 530s have issues, so vinyl is not. I guess a PL 550 is a Plattenspiel of some kind.
it's some kind of record player.
It's a turntable. Yeah.
He's throwing that record player knowledge down there.
Yep.
Now,
The
see, Jason,
PL was I was going German into the Plattenspiel, but it didn't quite make it. So
Jason and Tim are having a good old time in the chat there.
they are, and I'm glad they are. That's another good reason for us to be here.
Whoa, now I'm scrolling down and figuring out all the stuff I've missed.
Or up,
Okay,
as the
so
case may be.
Jason, Tim, Canadian, Jason, Tim, Alex. Yeah, so, well, this is great. So what are you going to do? Because I know it's not going to be long before you're able to do this, but when you hit 1,000 subscribers.
When I hit 1,000 subscribers,
it's not going to be very long.
and again, I'm asking the questions here because it's my stream, but just to exert that authority,
it's all part of the game.
when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I will take my first super chat
from me.
Very possibly, very possibly.
I'll do it. It'll be the first super chat I've ever sent.
You've never sent a super chat?
No.
Really?
Because typically I hang out in people's streams who aren't monetized.
Well, there you go.
It's just the people I follow tend to be smaller channels.
Yeah.
And the bigger channels, I don't know them well enough to really throw them money. And
the channels I typically hang out in are so big they don't notice me,
Yeah.
even though
Even
I
though you
send them super chats
yeah.
and I'm a Patreon subscriber.
Yeah, they don't know.
So they have no idea who that's not exactly true. It might as well be though. It's crazy.
Is it weird that every time I hear "Might as well be," I think of Marcus Welby, the TV show?
No, I don't think that's weird.
Every time I hear somebody say "Might as well be," I think Marcus Welby. What was the show he was on? Some doctor soap opera show.
Marcus Welby, MD.
MD. Marcus Welby. That's what I think of
That's
every time I hear somebody
that's
say
why
Might
you're
as.
thinking of that.
Why does he
Yeah.
have a name that sounds like "Might as well be"?
It's like, who's the sheriff in that Andy Griffith show?
Might as well be.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Yep.
don't know.
Well, let's use our last 20 minutes or so to swirl our glasses and to I always like to ask this sort of a question. What are questions people don't normally ask about you, or that you wish they would ask about you?
I got one.
Okay.
Do you collect Barbie dolls? Nobody's ever asked me that.
But I know that you do.
Good. Well, that's why you wouldn't have to ask.
That's right.
But I only collect certain kinds of Barbie dolls. Very specific.
Generally misused ones, I think.
Well, no, this kind. Hold on.
Oh, he's getting up. Oh, gosh. I had no idea. Here, let me make this bigger so that we can see the whole kit and caboodle. Yeah. Wow.
Okay, so here's the first one that was released in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Share a Smile, Becky.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and she's like Johnny's boyfriend because she's in a wheelchair and we don't care.
Yeah, Devo song.
Yeah.
It's actually Jimmy, but yeah, Jimmy's no. So
Jimmy,
anyway,
I'm sorry, Jimmy.
This came out in, I don't know, 99 or something,
Mm-hmm.
and the whole theme of it was that she was in a wheelchair. That was the whole theme, and she was in pink, and she was cute, and had a little skirt on, and so then this got a bunch of flack, and people said you can't do that.
Right.
So what they had to do was they had to make her the photographer, who just happens to be in a wheelchair, and she's dressed much more sensibly with long pants.
Of course.
Because typically people in wheelchairs don't wear tights and a mini skirt.
Right.
So
yeah.
they made it more realistic about a year or two after the first one.
After the perceived outrage that,
Yeah.
of course, wouldn't come for another 10 years.
See how different the back is on this one? Just a bunch of kids who like hip hop
Mm-hmm.
in wheelchairs.
Bunch of gals.
Bunch of ravers. They're on ecstasy in this picture. They're all feeling it. They're all really, really.
They're rolling. Yep.
They're peaking right about then.
Yep. Right on.
Outdoor rave. You can see they're at an outdoor rave.
And the other one?
The other one, they're just at school or something, or they're walking to the post office or something. They're just being clowns, basically. But
yeah.
These kids.
There are fewer of them. Yeah.
These kids knew how to rock.
Those are party girls. Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna do some special.
And they all have long pants as opposed to the other one.
Yeah, they're gonna do Special K to come down later that night.
That's right. They're gonna go into a K hole.
So now there's new Barbie dolls that have prosthetic limbs and skin diseases, and I'm not even kidding. There are Barbie dolls with skin disease and with prosthetic limbs and
we're not just talking eczema, like Barbie third degree burn Barbie.
No,
or?
I think it's an eczema thing or like
okay.
vitiligo. Is it called vitiligo?
Got me. I know skin disease.
Michael Jackson had some kind of vitiligo where his skin tone changed.
Yeah, I guess.
Anyway,
I don't know the name of it, but
I really want the prosthetic leg Barbie. I've been kind of.
There's a prosthetic leg Barbie?
Yeah, she's got a prosthetic leg. Yeah.
Huh. And that was just to make other girls feel inclusive, I guess,
it was
right?
To make me want to buy toys.
Right. But it backfired and had the opposite effect, and Hasbro just ape shit, right?
I love when Hasbro goes ape shit.
Don't you?
That's great. Vitiligo is what it's called.
Is he an altruistic pervert?
Oh, that's a Devo reference.
Apparently it is. That's by my friend B.L. Alley.
Good on you, BL.
Is in fact a science fiction author, and quite a good one.
That's a great Devo reference.
Trans Barbie. That would be a trans Ken, right?
Well, You never know. They might already be trans and they never told you.
I guess if Barbie has man hands, like man hands Barbie, that would be a trans Ken.
Maybe.
Man hands Barbie.
I've known
Somebody
some
better trademark that really fast, like before this stream is over.
That's your third channel.
Man hands Barbie. If it's not trans,
do your hands like that.
If man hands Barbie, if it's not trademarked by the end of this stream, I'm going to be really upset, but I'm going to go ahead and do it myself.
Look how big my hands are.
Man hands Barbie.
We're scaring people.
Yeah, we are. We're starting to lose people.
Well, this is great. Are we?
Although I have to say,
we're gaining people.
I have nothing against trans Barbie, except maybe a trans Ken. I don't know. Bionic Barbie, Alex James, who is a cat person.
There was a Bionic Barbie, but it was actually the Bionic Woman, right? It was a Bionic, probably made by another.
You're the Barbie collector. I don't know.
I'm not really a Barbie collector, but I like the crippled ones. That's all. Very specific. Actually, I'd collect any action figure that was in a wheelchair or had a prosthetic limb.
Adam's apple Barbie. Yeah, there we go.
Oh.
And of course, my friend Roger Holden is referring to one of my previous bands, Brand X Barbie, which was one of his previous bands we were in together.
That's nice.
And it was a pretty damn good band.
What's this? Barbie friend Karen. Oh, yeah.
There is a mermaid Barbie, apparently.
Yeah, I've seen that one. I have another one that's packed away in the attic, but it's Angel Barbie. It's actually a Barbie that has angel wings. Yeah, I couldn't pass that one up. I wish they do black metal Barbie.
That's more of a Garbage Pail Kids thing, isn't it? Didn't they do that with?
I think Barbie could rock a black metal.
I swear, I walked into a Hot Topic, and they had one of those goth Barbies, except it wasn't a Barbie. It was I don't know. Do they have a goth Barbie?
We don't need goth Barbie. We need black metal Barbie. Totally.
Black metal. Okay, yeah, that's. I probably saw a goth doll, and yeah. Well, you'd have to go to Norway to get one of those, right?
Or Finland.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be a good idea to get them from over there.
I once got kicked out of a Christian store for asking how much were the Christians.
That's perfect.
That's pretty funny.
The last purchase I ever made in a Christian store, and I've done it over the decades. A couple of years ago, I always have a priest shirt, a real priest shirt that I wear. It's kind of my go-to Halloween costume. I
have a friend that does the very same thing.
But it's a real priest shirt. It's not a costume.
Yeah, and he looks exactly like a priest.
Yeah, and I got it decades ago because I did some work for a theater play where I did some set design for them, and as part of the payment, I asked them for one of the priest shirts from the play because they had several new shirts in the back in different sizes, and there was one in size large that hadn't been worn, and I was like, look, if you give me that shirt, you can take, $30 or $50 off my payment. So they gave me the shirt, and I wore it for decades, and it finally started getting a little worn. So a couple of years ago, I went out to the Christian bookstore to buy another one, and they were going out of business, and all their shelves were almost empty. And I was like, oh my God, do you guys have any of those shirts? They're like, nope, we're sold out, but you can go call our other store in Cary, North Carolina. So I called the other store. They had them. I ran over there, and I bought one for like 75% off, which is great because those shirts aren't cheap. And so now I have a brand new priest shirt that is unworn, that I'm just waiting for another social Halloween where I could be a priest. And I have the body.
Do they come with the collar?
Yeah, the plastic collar, and I have a container of the body of Christ, the communion wafers. I have those, and so I pass those out when I dress as the priest.
Cool.
Actually, I throw them at people, like handfuls of it. I'll throw it at people because it's the body of Christ. So that's how I roll on Halloween, in case anybody was interested in knowing. So this has been great. We have 11 minutes to really give this show a good.
Less, really 10. To be honest.
Finale.
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
Well, let's go wide.
Oh.
And
whoa.
Yeah. And
Now, can I ask you about the background, or can I not ask you anything
no,
anymore?
of course.
What's that background all about?
Well, I have my Son of Satan comic
No, no,
over
no,
there,
no, not that
and
background.
oh,
The background of the screen.
oh, it's just like feathers, or sorry, leaves, and you know,
Foliage.
to kind of non-offensive,
I think
stuff.
it's very offensive. Can anybody back me up? Those leaves are offending the hell out of me.
I thought you meant like my background as opposed to your background.
No, I'm just wondering where the leaves came from.
It's a StreamYard, you know.
A stock image.
Yes,
Well, it
as
doesn't
they
represent
say.
it doesn't represent Cardinal Sin very well.
Well, maybe not, but thank goodness I have fewer than uh 200 subscribers, so
Not for long.
no one really notices.
Not for long. Now, I've
There
heard
you
about the
go. You
baby.
called it. Offended
Yeah.
by leaves.
See, Phantom knows what's up.
Not
Because it signifies falling from the tree, which we don't want anyone to do.
leaves and backsides.
Leaves. That's a good name for a band.
So Zeb has asked us several times that I've
Oh,
noticed. Did you ever ask Jerry, or are you planning to ask him about a new album to follow up Something for Everyone, Everybody, and Something Else for Everybody?
it's
Or maybe a better way to ask it would be, is there a new album coming out?
no,
Are there any plans for
not at
such
this
an
point.
album?
But here's the thing: at least there are plans to do live shows. If that is able to happen over the next year, Devo will do more live shows. That's a start. Now, here's the thing: you get Devo to do live shows, that means you get them into rehearsals with each other more often. Now, when you
Right.
get bands in rehearsals, sometimes they mess around, they start playing with new ideas, you get kind of fluid with your instrument again. And this is what I'm hoping happens. I'm hoping that the shows will lead to doing an album, which is what happened back in 2009, 2010. Those
Hmm.
songs were written over a period of time, and
They had a focus group.
it's a focus group. That's
I
right.
still have that, by the way.
It was,
I love that.
it was interesting. But yeah, I'm just saying, like, I think there's always a chance that Devo will record more music, because at this point, since 3 of the original members are still alive. But right now, I think focusing on making live shows happen will maybe lead to.
Yeah, we have to come out the ass end of the pandemic first, obviously,
That's right.
and then there can be live shows, and then that might trigger some some of that rehearsing you were talking about. Some
Nobody, yeah, nobody wants to release an album during a pandemic because you can't tour it and promote it. The Dickies were supposed to release their final album this year. They're
their
putting it
final
on,
album.
yeah, their final album
Oh wow.
this year, and they were supposed to release it last year, so now it's been pushed to this year, which may be pushed to next year. But you never know. You can't release an album and not tour it unless you have some, I don't know, some magical way of promoting it. But um, I think that's what bands are. A lot of bands are probably sitting on releases right now, just waiting for the right time.
Devo is influenced by classic Star Trek and new Star Trek. The Next Generation with the Borg was influenced by Devo's Lightbox stages from Freedom of Choice via USA.
It all comes full circle there, doesn't
It
it?
does. It does. And I'm 6 minutes too early to segue that into the perfect ending for this stream, but I didn't look up at the clock before I said
You
that.
just go ahead
So
and segue, and then we'll stretch the ending out.
I'll I'll
All right.
I'll I'll,
I want
I'll
to hear
come
your
back to
segue.
that.
Oh, you're going to come back
Full
to it?
circle always comes full circle, right?
All right. I'm with it. But
So
it's been a delight being here, and I appreciate you inviting me. And I really do appreciate your early support of my channel, and you were always there, and you were always somebody I could depend on to be there to make me feel like I was doing the right thing and live streaming and trying to do this, make this happen. So I always much appreciate your service there, Cardinal.
very happy to oblige, and at some point I will engineer a hiatus for Into the Fringe, the Thursday show, so that I can come back and fully participate rather than just you sort of walk in and throw money at you,
Well,
which
that'd be great to do. And you should
it's better
also,
than nothing. But
I think you should consider doing a contest very soon that you're pushed to 200 subscribers or whatever you're trying to get to. I think it would help, and all you'd have to do is give away some cool sci-fi thing that your people here like.
oh gosh, I have some really cool sci-fi stuff
I
that
think it would help you, and I'd even enter the contest.
giving away would almost kill me. But anything for subscribers.
Or you can just give away something easy like an Amazon credit or whatever. But
Gift card, yeah,
to make it
something like
interesting, I
that.
always like to see people give away real prizes. I like that. It kind of limits your audience a little bit, I guess, depending on who wants that prize. But at the same time, it kind of draws your audience in, those people that appreciate that prize. So that's why I gave away a Devo specific thing. I know it probably alienated a bunch of people because they don't really want the Devo prize, but
I don't know about that.
I'm telling people that, look, even if you don't want the prize, if you win it, I'll send it to whoever you think
Right.
appreciate it, right? So,
Right.
But I think
I've got a autographed Michael Pilmer letter. I could give away as a prize.
This is more valuable.
That I don't know. Maybe that might be true, but that's a completely different. Oh, actually, when I do a Christopher Walken, you have no idea what I'm doing because you don't watch film.
That's right. I know.
I had no idea. When is my? See, now you're making all kinds of
you need to
hay while the sun shines.
You need to do a contest.
Well, I guess I will
All
now.
right. And I will enter.
Boy, and here I thought I was asking the questions.
That's great. Well, hey, I wanted to make sure I had time to thank everybody who showed up, all my friends that I know and all the friends that I know now because I just met you. Thanks.
And ditto, although that doesn't take up a lot of time.
Well, I mean, we got 3 minutes.
We do.
All you gotta do is a nice beatbox.
I don't even have the necessary lip control to do that anymore.
Necessary Lip Control is a good industrial band name.
I think so.
Where's the channel where they give away other people's firstborn? Oh, I don't want that prize.
That's got to be a really expensive channel.
I will send that prize to somebody else.
The new riders from the Star Trek The Next Generation. I think Guy has a strange idea about what new Star Trek is like.
I do too.
But then again, you have no idea, so it doesn't really matter.
No idea is kind of a strange idea.
It is. It makes us furious. So that's why we're called the Fandom Menace.
Oh,
because
that's right.
It makes us furious that they do what they're doing.
Oh my goodness.
Because it's got nothing to do with Star Trek, and they might as well call it Lightspeed or whatever, and
they might as well call it Becky the School Photographer.
There you go.
Look at that. Nice. Yeah.
The winner of my contest stays at my house for a week, food and drinks included. That would be a really lame prize.
But see, all 10.
There's not a lot of food or drink around here, so.
Well, if you stayed with Tim, all you would eat is gummy bears and a coffee or something. I don't know.
There you go. Well,
what's the
Michael?
Segue?
It's been wonderful having you on.
What's the segue?
Huh?
You were gonna do some crazy segue.
Oh, the circle of life or something, yeah. But I did want to thank you for being kind enough to be my guest.
Oh, I love it.
And to again give you the opportunity to let folks know where they can find you.
Oh,
and the things you do.
You can just go right over to. I'll show you. It'll be easy, kids. Don't worry. I got you. So you just go over here, and I'm going to put it right here in the chat, and that is my YouTube channel. Boom, right there. So you can go over there and sub me up and watch my silly little videos about music, collecting, and Devo and whatever. And I hope we'll all have a good time together someday.
Oh, it must be in the YouTube chat, not into the the StreamYard chat.
It'll pop up in the StreamYard chat, but I think it's a little slower in the StreamYard chat.
Okay. Let's see here. Queen's another one bites the dust.
Okay, let's make sure it worked. Oh yeah, it worked. Yeah, so Cardinal, I appreciate it, brother.
Not seeing it, but okay, if you say so.
It is, it's there.
All right. Well, thanks again. Thanks for everyone that showed up. And again, tomorrow on Into the Fringe, not Into the, that's my other show. What is my show called?
Becky.
Masters of the Genre. I will have Greg Bear, the seminal science fiction and cyberpunk writer, on between 7 and 9 Central. So please be here for that. Thanks for everyone that showed up. And especially you, Mr. Pilmer.
And Becky.
Now go away. All right, that's it for today. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.